for those of you joining now. And I place myself into a physical location that I don't typically, but the sun is out and I at least want to feel it a little bit on my body while I'm hanging out here with you. So, mm, one of the things that really guides me in my life is being real with myself and with people around me, whether um, we are close, close meaning we know each other well, or we don't, or anywhere in between. And the the relief, the relaxation, the liberation that it is to be in truth with oneself while being truth with those around us is in my experience, um, it feels like freedom, and it feels like the way that I would describe what freedom feels like. And so like the sounds, like I've developed this comfortability with being able to allow my body to move these kinds of sounds, like the one I just did, through me without caring how it's going to be um, maybe assessed or evaluated or judged or made an opinion of by those around me. Like it makes me feel even this sense of emotion as I speak that out loud. The ability to be fully oneself in the present moment, and how we interface with life, with our environment, truly is what I would describe as freedom. And that just like makes me want to cry because it feels so real. To not have to hide anything, to be able to feel so safe in feeling as oneself and vulnerable as oneself and vulnerable from a place of it feeling aligned because it's true, and in that space it feels powerful. It doesn't feel like fear or weakness, it feels like this is just what's true, so this is how I exist. And I I'm noticing that so many of the pieces of inspired language that are coming through me and have been, I mean, in so many ways for a very long time, it's all connected. Is this how do we be ourselves? How do we relax into being ourselves? And I can understand more and more as I continue to get to know myself more deeply. And as I've gotten to know myself more deeply over the past few years, that being in practice with oneself in this mind body way of practicing is essential to getting to know ourselves. Um, that makes me want to cry also. Culturally, we've been taught that we know ourselves just simply by the fact that we've been with ourselves all of our lives, right? We come into the world as as me. And there's this understanding that we should just know ourselves because we've been in this body, we've been in this life. Of course, I have to know myself. And the truth is that there's so much information implicitly stored in our body mind, that is informing how we interact with and engage with the world, and that we don't necessarily have a conscious relationship with those places in a moment to moment movement through our day. And so to be able to go into a place of inquiry with those deeper pieces of information actually requires choice, and actually requires a different way of being with oneself, choosing a different way of being with oneself than we might be with ourselves on an average, typical moment to moment day. I've talked about ritual. I'm saying practice, embodiment practice, somatic practice. All of these things are the same in that they support us to become, um, to soften into this like relationship of curiosity with ourselves, this inquiring relationship with self. I'm facilitating a group space tomorrow evening. I have 12 people enrolled so far, and it's intimacy practices because it's the day before Valentine's, and I thought it would be fun to support couples. And I have actually 2 single people who are partnering, who are going to do this space together. And it's about, like everything that I facilitate, whether it's private or in a group, it's about cultivating a closer relationship with self. So the places like I'm speaking to that we wouldn't typically be meeting in a moment to moment way of our day, in the now normalized way of being with ourself. The deeper way of being oneself is really it's a rebellious, it's not rebellious. It's counter to, it's non-normalized to what we've been taught. It's non-normalized to what we see, both in the larger community around us, perhaps our family, our friend group, our country, our world. There are absolutely cultures and spaces where it is more normalized to be in this way of conscious relationship with self, but it's not the larger majority culture that we see, at least here in the United States and the Western world. So so choosing to be like in a space like what I'm facilitating tomorrow, or like what I'm going to be doing here shortly, I thought I was going to get to it before this, but I didn't, is to be in practice with myself so that I can make space for these deeper pieces of information to flow through. And we can do this in a solo practice. We can do this in a group practice when there's a facilitator supporting us. We can do this in a one-on-one practice with a private, uh, a one-on-one dynamic. There's all sorts of ways where we can be in this experience. And as we practice it more and more, it becomes something that just becomes part of the way we experience ourselves, and part of the way we are in a flow of inquiry with self into those deeper spaces. So, as I was stepping into this episode right now, right before this, I had stepped outside into this sunny backyard space, and I was like, this is something that feels fun to share. Fun, not from a like, let me entertain you, because that's not what I'm here for, nor is, I mean, I believe in fun and play for the joy of the pureness of being in the moment of life, being in presence with life, and the importance of play and fun. Yes, like, I could cry again right now too. It's so important. It's so important, and so many of us aren't getting enough of that. And the reason I was gonna share what I'm about to share is because it's a way for me to be in authentic practice with anyone who's interfacing with me and how I carry myself through my day. So, um, I don't enjoy using toilets. This is what I'm sharing with you. This vulnerable opening to the interfacing with real me. I do not enjoy using interior spaces. Like, if I could have comfortability for my body and uninterrupted sound and comfortability for my body being like warmth because my body gets cold quickly, and like not glare on my computer. Like, if I could do all my work outside, that's where I would be. I would have an outside office and I would just be outside. I would be outside all the time. I want to cook outside. I want to do everything outside. I live in a climate where it's kind of tricky to do that. It's pretty cold. It's probably under 30 degrees this morning. So, um, anyway, what I'm saying is that if I can find ways to pop into to nature because I am nature and be in that relationship with the natural world, with me as natural, the organism of me, I choose that as often as I can. And so I often will go to the bathroom in my backyard. And it's rather private. It's private enough. And so I did that, and then I stood there and I let my belly and my legs, the skin of those parts of my body and my face just like I can feel it on my back right now coming in through the glass, just absorb the heat of the sunshine and how remarkable it feels. The simplicity of our body to be able to be in sensory relationship with the natural world. It is alive. And aliveness, in the way that I define aliveness, is inspired from within. What inspires me to be in a creative expression that's coming from within. It's not coming from my brain, it's coming from, I mean, there's no place to attach it to. It's just coming from an interior inspirational space, an interior yeah, an interior inspirational space. That's the best way I can put it. And and then movement through life, creative expressions through the service that I offer, which is to support human wholeness, comes from there. And when we are able to be in that experience, the body's sensory system, as we expand and create more wholeness and more flow in our interior world, the energetics of my body to be in flow within the sensory capacity to feel alive is experienced in a way that, in my perspective, is the way that we're designed to be as this inflow organismic human creature. The sun on my skin feeling ecstatically delicious. My coffee, which I have a new little, like, ritual the way I do it right now, and it's like, oh my god, it's so good. And just the flavor of things on my tongue and the magic of the tongue to be able to absorb these different, flavor experiences. Umami, I could not think of that word the other week in another recording that's gonna be coming out on my Substack. Or sorry, well, maybe that too, but also, my new podcast, which is gonna be called Wild Open. Um, umami, salt. Oh, I don't know if salt is one. Umami, bitter, sour, sweet. Oh, I can't remember the 5th one. Maybe it is salt. Um, mm, I can't remember. But the just I'm trying to illustrate the sound of birds, the sound of the wind moving through trees, the sound of our own voices, the vibrational quality of my the energy moving through me, moving through my voice box, making sound, the deliciousness of making sound to attune to the nervous system in this moment to moment way of relating to oneself. Visually being able to see a bird flying, seeing those trees waving. Uh, I just felt goosebumps. Putting feet to the earth and feeling the the density of soil under one's feet, or something maybe more rigid like rocks. All of these things, when we have this experience of flow in the body, that these sensory experiences, sight, vision, smell, taste, sound, touch, become these relationship mechanisms for us to feel alive. Mm, That's like this organismic, in my opinion, this organismic ecstasy, this organismic, orgasmic, sensual aliveness that I believe it is what we're all supposed to be in the experience of in our lives, in our bodies. That's my share for today. Thank you for being here, encouraging all of us to, even if it's 60 seconds, to notice with a little more slowness or stillness or pause, what is something that captures your attention, that tunes you into your sensory experience? Because these are the experiences that connect to our conversational relationship with our nervous system. Ooh, what is a sound that you enjoy? What is a sound that you don't enjoy? What is a flavor that feels good in the mouth? What is a flavor that maybe you don't like so much? Being able to notice these opposing things and be okay with the discernment of what you like a lot, what you like a little, or maybe what you don't like at all. That that is beautiful. So, encouraging your exploration of that, and to be able to notice those things consciously so that we can navigate more from this place of embodied liberation, interior liberation, to create the life that feels the most fulfilling, the most rich moment to moment. Mm. Sending love, care, support, compassionate witnessing, and celebrating you, whomever your unique you is. That we all matter, you matter, each one of us matters. And to cultivate our uniqueness is such a beautiful experience. And we are each worthy of doing that. Mm. Until next week. Happy Valentine's Day.